Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft Excel. In this module, I want to have a look at the count functions that you get in Excel. We're going to look at the count function itself, CountA, CountIF, CountIFS, and then the last one will be CountBlank. So what I have on the screen is a database list with people's names, grades, gender, course attended, and age. What I want to do first of all is count how many people I have in this list. So at the top there I've got the function listed. So the first one is a count. So if I go equals count and then open the brackets and select the names, which is what you'd expect to be able to do, when I tick that formula I'm going to get an error message because count actually is count numbers, and if you go to the ribbon and drop it down, it actually does say count numbers, even though when you click this it puts just the count function, the word count there. So if you want to count text you can't use just count. So what count is for is numbers. So I would be able to count how many numbers there are in that list. So let's try that one. If I just reselect this, if I highlight these and then tick that, that tells me that there are 20 in that list, 20 numbers, and if I highlight it and have a quick check down the bottom here, it says count 20, which is great. So that is just for count numbers. So if I want to count the people, I have to do a different function, which is equals count A, and then I can select text, and then check that, click the tick, and there are 23. And if I highlight that, it says count 23. Now it doesn't just count text, it counts numbers as well. So if I type some numbers in here, you can see it's still saying 23. Only if I delete something will the number start reducing. So as I delete names, that reduces. So that's quite a flexible function to use. It's probably the one I would go for by default rather than the count function, but if you've just got numbers, it doesn't matter. Now CountIF is where you can qualify it. So what I have here are three different types of courses. So I've got Equal Ops, Leadership, and Microsoft Office. So I'm just going to create a little table for myself. So I'll just use my control key there to, when I move that, to just copy that. You can obviously just do copy and paste, but I quite like to do this myself. So CountIF, so I want to count how many Equal Ops courses, how many Leadership courses, how many Microsoft Office courses there are in this list. So this is a CountIF equals CountIF. Now when this comes up, you've got two options there. If I press my tab key, that'll just select the first option. If I want to go down the list a bit, I can use the arrow keys to navigate down the list if there's more than one option. Like there was two options there, but I didn't want the CountIFs. So the range I'm going to look down is this range. And what I want to look for is Equal Ops. So I've actually got it there, so I can click on that, or I could type Equal Ops, and if I did type it I would have to put it inside quotes, speech marks, and that's all I want to do. Close the bracket, click the tick. So there are 14 of those. Now the problem I've got by using the cell references there is when I go to pull that across, those cell references are going to move. So I would need to $ those cell references with the F4 key. So I'll highlight those, press the F4 key, which will put $ and lock that column of information, and then I will be able to pull that across, and then you get the leadership numbers and the Microsoft Office numbers, which you can see is correct. Now what I normally do is use a named range there, so instead of $, I just highlight that and call it courses, for example. Press enter, that names that list. In fact, that's already named from before, but if I want to change that so it's just the top, I need to go into formulas and name manager and find courses in this list. There's quite a few there, you can see courses there. It refers not to the whole column but just to this yellow area for this example, and then tick that, and then close. And then now I've called this courses. It's courses. And then I can change this formula to, instead of using these dollar signs, I can just put the word courses, the named range. Looks a little bit tidier. Click the tick. So what I can do is just pull this across, and I don't need to worry about the dollar signs, because by naming a range or a list, you do actually make that absolute, so you are locking it in place. So that's the CountIF option. So I could have just filled it in there, but I didn't. CountIFs, where you've got more than one criteria. So in a CountIF with no S on the end of it, it's just one criterion I'm looking for. Whereas CountIFs, it's multiple criteria. So let's have a look at that one. So if I go equals count, and again I've got loads of options, and I'm using my down arrow to get the CountIFs, and then I'm pressing the tab key to activate that. So let's say that I want to look down this courses. So I've actually called it courses, so it's going to remember that. So if I select that, it says courses, and when I look at courses, I want to look for equal op, so I'm still going to use these. And again, I could have typed that, but now that's what a CountIF would do. This is now going to be CountIFs. So I want to count how many people have done equal ops training and are over 31 years of age. So next criteria, criteria range, bold there, criteria 2 is going to be the age column. So I haven't named that, so I will just select that. Age, then you can see that's bold. Next thing is a comma. And then it wants the criteria. Now I want to do greater than 31, but the way you have to do that with the CountIF function is to put it inside quotes like that. In fact, not like that. I need the greater than sign as well, like that. So if it's greater than, so count courses if it's equal to equal ops, and the age if it's greater than 31, and I close the bracket on that one, and then that should tell me that there are 4 people in this list that are done equal ops and are over 31 years old. Now, CountBlank does what it says on the tin. Count blanks, how many blank items are there in a list. Count again, using my down arrow to find CountBlank, and then tab to activate it. So the range is going to be the age column, and then you can tick, and there are 3. So 3 people that haven't got any data in their age column, so that's something to chase up, and there they are, you can see them there. 3. So that's count, CountA, CountIF, CountIFs, and CountBlank. They're the count functions that I just wanted to go through in this little session. So hopefully that was of use to you. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.